Greetings, y'all, and welcome to See Things Above TV. I'm your host, Luke Ciccone. So we have a major update on the matter of Steve Lawson's disqualification from ministry due to what has been described as an inappropriate relationship. In a post on X, Phil Johnson has shed some much-needed light on the situation that gives us a better understanding of the nature of the extramarital relationship that has now cost Steve Lawson his ministry and has tarnished his reputation. For a little bit of background, Phil Johnson is the executive director of Grace to You, which is essentially the broadcast and media platform for John MacArthur's preaching ministry. Phil has obviously worked with Steve Lawson over the years in different settings, as Lawson had a long-term partnership with Grace Community Church. The eye-opening post from Phil Johnson read as follows: "The expression inappropriate relationship sparked unnecessary speculation. Some wondering if what occurred was actually more benign than most people imagine. Others wondering if SL's sin was much worse and possibly even something criminal. I'm not sure why anyone would think so much ambiguity is good in the spirit of 1 Timothy 5:20. Rumors were flying, some close to the truth, so this morning I posted these answers to a couple of the most asked questions. As we can see below, this is the post and the exchange that Phil had with a member of Trinity Bible Church. This is the most detail I've heard about Lawson so far. Young woman in her 20s, relationship went on for 5 years, and her dad was the one that came to the elders, not Lawson. Is all verified?" And we could take a closer look as Phil responds. "Almost. Steve himself informed the elders, but only after the girl's father had confronted Steve and threatened exposure. This was not a noble confession of sin. Inappropriate is too ambiguous, as if someone merely caught them holding hands. This was a 5-year relationship with strong romantic overtones. Both parties insist no literal fornication was involved, but their tie to one another was adulterous in spirit, if not in fact. He is 73. She is in her late 20s. She's not a member of his church. In fact, she lives in a different state, nowhere close to any of the ministries Steve served. I don't believe any good end would be served by exposing her identity to the public." So on one hand, we are informed that the relationship was not sexual, but still sinful and adulterous in spirit. And perhaps the more disturbing part is, firstly, that this went on for 5 years, and second, that Lawson only came forward after the threat of exposure. To put this in context, if you went to the G3 conference in 2021 or 2023, or if you were a pastor and you went to any of the last 4 Shepherds conferences, and you were taught and edified by Steve Lawson's preaching, this affair was going on in the background. This information further reinforces the need for churches to be upfront with their congregation, as this exchange with a member of Trinity Bible Church that Phil posted displays. "I read your previous comments before Sunday service at TBC and fully expected Mark to be forthcoming with the flock. I even brought tissues because I knew it would be difficult. I read your previous comments before Sunday service at TBC and fully expected Mark to be forthcoming with the flock. I even brought tissues because I knew it would be difficult. Instead, we were left in the dark, heartbroken by it all, not sure if we will stay." And Phil responds, "Do stay. If they were trying to cover or minimize the sin, you'd have grounds to leave, but that's not their aim. They're doing the best they can in an impossible situation. Speak to them privately and individually before leaving over what they did or didn't say publicly. I don't seek to disparage the elders at TBC in any way. However, the lack of information does cause unnecessary speculation and leads to more questions than necessary, as Phil states. This pattern of not being fully transparent within the church certainly does go against 1 Timothy 5:20, which says, 'Do not admit a charge against an elder except on the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. As for those who persist in sin, rebuke them in the presence of all, so that the rest may stand in fear.' Church discipline involves naming the reasons why someone is being disciplined, and as for removal of an elder, it must also be done publicly and clearly state the circumstances why they are disqualified from ministry. We can only hope and pray that there will be true repentance in Steve Lawson's life and that healing and forgiveness would take place in his family and in the lives of those deeply impacted by his actions. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. All right. God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.